Welcome back, my lovely citizens, and today we are going to be going over a Turbo Regidrago list. I've been a huge fan of Regidrago ever since it got revealed. It has an interesting attack called Apex Dragon that lets you, for 2 grass and 1 fire, use the attacks of any dragon Pokemon in your discard pile. This is reminiscent of Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team, and I am very much looking forward to testing out a lot of different builds with this because it is a very versatile archetype. In fact, I love this card so much that I literally bought a Regidrago plush as a result. So we have Henry the Regidrago here in the room now, in the kingdom. But for now, let's go over this turbo build. I'm going to cover some other lists for Regidrago later, but for this video, we're going over the turbo build. So to start, we have 1, 2, 3 Regidrago V-Star. It has that Apex Dragon attack to copy any attacks of dragon Pokemon in discard. On top of that, it also has a V-Star ability that is discard the top 7 cards of your deck, and you can put 2 of any cards in your discard pile into your hand. This isn't just from the top 7. You can grab any card that you have already discarded. So this is also good resource management for being able to pick up cards later, which is a nice little thing that you can add to the deck. For example, if you accidentally discard a Regidrago V-Star off of Pokestop or something, you can get it back later, which I very much enjoy having as an option. Then we have 3 of the Regidrago V. This one has an attack for 1 colorless energy that is discard the top 3 cards of your deck, attach any basic energy you find there to this Pokemon. It can be nice in a pinch if you're going second and it's in the active, but personally I don't think you'll be using this much. I also don't think you'll be using the second attack too much either, although again they can work in a pinch. The second attack is 130 to the active and 30 to a bench. On top of that, now we get into some of the dragon attackers. This one here is a Dragonite. The second attack is the relevant one. The first one is 3 colorless for a flat 80 damage, but the second one is 4 energy for 180, and then search your deck for 3 basic energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you want. So, Regidrago has a Trinity Nova. On top of that, we also have Goodra V-Star, which is great damage reduction for the deck. It's amazing for swinging 200, potentially having a 2-shot or a 1-shot on things with lower HP, and then you can reduce damage and potentially live for even longer. So Goodra is a very good attacker in this deck. On top of that, we also have Duraludon VMAX. Duraludon VMAX is a very relevant attacker, especially in this meta, especially with guard energy, because now, swinging with this 220 max pulverization, you can swing through the effects of guard energy to swing for a clean 220, which a lot of times will get the KOs on most Vs before they evolve. So this is very good. It also goes through effects like Goodra's Rolling Iron, which reduces 80. So it's nice going through effects, and it also makes you basically immune to Miltank, which is nice. Then we have Giratina, which is the huge damaging option. It's 280 and then Lost Zone 2 energy from your Pokemon in play to your Lost Zone, which you don't want to do this too often, but you definitely want to use it to knock out big threats. That plus Belt is a nice 310 damage, which KOs most of the meta as well. We also have Garchomp V, which has free retreat, so it's a good pivot, but on top of that, there's discard 3 energy and then snipe for 220, which is a nice late game finisher when you don't necessarily want to have to pull up something. You can kind of just swing at it for 220 to finish out the game. It's nice. It's also nice as a pivot because Gardenia's Vitality can only accelerate grass energy to a benched Pokemon, so it's nice having something that you can pivot off of that you can just send up into the active. Then we have some support. We have Leafeon V with the Greening Cells ability. This allows you to search your deck for a grass energy, attach it to one of your Pokemon in play, and end your turn. This is great on turn 1 for you to go Regidrago down, attach to it, then Leafeon Greening Cells to it. Then you're 1 attachment away from being able to swing the next turn, which is nice because it allows you to not necessarily need to Gardenia to swing. So sometimes you can use a Serena or even a Marnie when you're wanting to do something other than Gardenia for turn. or you can use that Gardenia to allocate energy to a different Regidrago. Then we have Crobat, which is draw until you have 6 cards in hand. Always good, just a little bit of burst draw. We've got Guru, which can swap cards to the top of our deck. This is really nice with the Pokestop and the Trekking Shoes. We play both of those. So Primate Wisdom can put a dragon on top, and then you can discard it off of either the Pokestop or the Trekking Shoes. So it's a great way to get dragons into discard. Then we have Radiant Greninja. It's a little bit more burst draw. We discard a energy from our hand and then draw 2. This one in particular was not in the original draft when I was playing against Peter, but I learned that we wanted to play this along with energy retrievals and Pokestop to get through our deck a little bit faster, because one of the issues we were having previously was not being able to draw as consistently. So I very much like the Radiant Greninja in this build. Then finally for support Pokemon we have Mew, which has Mysterious Tail, which is look at the top 6 cards of your deck, grab a trainer card you find there, and add it to your hand. This is a great pivot. It lets you set up your Gardenias a little bit easier. It can also grab you Evo Incense, Quick Ball, Ultra Ball, Trekking Shoes. It can grab you a lot here. It can even grab you your energy retrieval to get back energy to use Gardenia, and then you can pivot out of it into the Regidrago. So I very much like this lineup of support Pokemon, attackers, and the 3-3 Regidrago line. Now on to supporters. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Gardenia. This is draw 2 cards and then accelerate up to 2 grass energy from hand to your bench Pokemon in any way you want. No, it's not in any way you want. It's to one of your bench Pokemon. So you draw 2, accelerate to the Regidragos, and then you can potentially Regidrago attach Swing. It's not foolproof. It's worse than things like Melanie or Welder, but it's the best thing we have to immediately set up in a singular turn without using something like the Dragonite to set up onto things. Realistically, you're not going to need to use this super consistently, but we have a lot of them just because we want to be able to hit them whenever we do need them. On top of that, we have 2 Serena. Serena has 2 effects, one of which is discard up to 3 cards from your hand and then draw until you have 5 cards in hand, or you can gust up a Pokemon V. So this works as boss in this particular deck because most of the time we're not wanting to pull up 1-prizers. The main thing that we want to pull up is Vs so we can take them out to get the prize trade going a little bit quicker. So we're basically just pulling up V Pokemon. Sometimes it's a V-Star or a V-Max and we're swinging with the Giratina to KO. But other times, if you do need to hit something on the bench and it's not necessarily a V, you can always snipe it with Garchomp. On top of that, we also have 1 Marnie for a little bit of hand disruption and also just some refreshing and drawing. For example, if we have a lot of energy in our hand, we could Marnie and then use Dragonite's attack to accelerate those energies. So that's not bad, especially if you go energy retrieval, get energy into hand, Marnie it into deck, and then use the Dragonite. I very much like having at least 1 Marnie as an option. I might want to bump it to 2, like I might go down a Gardenia and up a Marnie. That's something I've been considering, but for right now, just 1 Marnie. Now on to the ball search. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Quick Ball. Discard a card, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it into your hand. This is great for being able to set up your bench, and you can also discard dragons to be able to power up the Apex Dragon ability. It's always good to have 4 Quick Ball. On top of that, we have 4 Ultra Ball, which is discard 2 cards from your hand, and you can search your deck for any Pokemon. It can be an evolution, it can be a basic, so a lot of times you'll be able to discard dragons and then search for your V-Star. Then if you still need more pieces, you can V-Star power for those. I very much like having a very heavy ball count. On top of that, we also have 2 Evolution Incense. This is just something that we can, for free, grab a Regidrago or one of these attackers. It's always good if we have like an Evo Incense and an Ultra Ball. You can Evo Incense for one of these attackers because 4 of these 5 attackers are evolutions. So being able to put that into your hand and then Ultra Ball it away is good for powering up your Apex Dragon attack. Then we have 1, 2, 3 trekking shoes. These are good for thinning out our deck, drawing a little bit heavier, and also being able to discard dragons with the Primate Wisdom, putting a dragon on top of our deck. Trekking shoes, discard that, and then draw the next card. It is very good to be able to draw with this. It's great deck thinning, great being able to thin through your deck, get through your deck as quickly as possible, while also discarding dragons as quickly as possible. Then we also have 1, 2, 3 energy retrieval. We're playing 3 of these so we can consistently pull off Gardenias or have whatever energy we want, or be able to put energy into hand, Marnie it into deck, and then accelerate it with the Dragonite. Energy retrievals are very good. I don't know if we need 3, but I'm playing 3 for now because that's what I've been seeing a lot of Japanese lists play. So for now it's 3. It might go down to 2 in the future. I was playing Energy Search at first, but since I'm playing 12 energy, I'm just kind of hoping to hit the energy at start. There is a chance we go down one of these and up 1 more energy search later, but for right now, 3 energy retrieval. Because we can always hit energy off of Pokestop and then energy retrieval for that energy, which is a workaround at least. Then we have 1, 2 switches. It's great for pivoting into things like the Garchomp, which has free retreat, or the Mew to be able to Mysterious Tail and then get out of the active and then swing. It's always great to have pivoting cards. And we also have 1 escape rope. Does the same thing, but forces your opponent to switch as well. Sometimes you want to phase something that they have in their active to the bench. On top of that, we also have an air balloon. Most of the time you'll want to attach this here, but you can attach it to any one of your Pokemon. You could attach it to Leafeon if you happen to start Leafeon. You could attach it to a Rangaroo. It's just an extra switching option. Then we have 2 choice belts, boosting our damage a little bit further, being able to hit 310 or 230 or 250. All of those are very relevant numbers to hit in this game. So that is very important to note. Then we have 1, 2, 3 Pokestops. Let me slide these over so it looks a little bit better. We have 3 Pokestops. Yeah, actually I'm gonna shift this over because I'm a person who very much likes to lay out my deck effectively. There we go. We've got 3 Pokestops. It's discard the top 3 cards of your deck, put any item cards you find there into your hand. Most of this that you're hitting is stuff that you'd want to hit. Really, the only things you don't want to hit are Regidrago pieces, support pieces, or your supporters. But if you're hitting any of the dragons, that's good. If you're hitting any of your items, that's good. Even if you're hitting your energies, that's fine because it's setting up for your energy retrievals. That's why we play such a heavy count of them, is because if you Pokestop away energy, you can get them back with energy retrieval. That's what I very much like about Pokestop in this build. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fire energy, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 grass energy. I feel like this is a very good count, especially with the Radiant Greninja and the 3 energy retrieval on top of the Pokestops. I think generally you will be hitting your energy pretty consistently. And with energy retrieval, you'll always have access to 2 at any given point, which means that you can pretty consistently use Gardenia's Vigor to actually set up your Regidragos. So I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. I am very much enjoying playing this one myself. I think this is better than the one that I was playing earlier, which was playing 2 Training Court instead of the 3 Pokestops. So I'm liking how this build is, but I will be testing a lot of other Regidrago builds as well. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all later. Have a good night.